Well, hello. Welcome to an episode of SNL Analysis, November 20th, Season 47, Episode 7, guest Simu Liu from Marvel's Avengers Shang-Chi. So let's start out with the cold open. The cold open was Janine Pirro. It was funny. It was pretty good. It was pretty funny. Chris Redd had a lot of really good jokes. Was a really good backup. Mikey Day did a really good job. Chloe did pretty good as well. Really great backups to Janine. I'm not a fan of the guy, so anytime any impressions of the guy are there, I'm just automatically gonna dunk them off points because also America's tired. Just America is just tired of just that element of politics. So also because of the crossword, I think that I was so involved in trying to find the words in the crossword that I was totally lost in the jokes that they were saying. So that to me, and it was a really great gimmick to put the crossword up, but again, it takes away from the jokes. So overall, I gave them a 7. So his monologue, bunch of nothing. I'm sorry, just bunch of nothing. The first Chinese person to be the fourth Chinese person. I thought that was pretty much the only joke that I really liked. Everything else was just no. And then the B word being thrown at the end. Any sexist words, I'm just gonna dock points for that. So I actually gave it a 3. So I didn't think it was funny. I think he looked good in the outfit, but just a 3. Then we've got the bar with Chloe Fineman and Keenan, and the karaoke, and I thought it was pretty good. It was really it started off a little slow, but it started to pick up, and then all of a sudden the dad and the daughter. That was just no. I am not gonna do that. And a lot of these jokes with those kind of elements, they're no longer like midnight, they're or 11:30 at night. These are things that you can look up and anybody can see at any time of day. So I really think of the sense of responsibility. I just didn't like it, and it really ruined a really funny skit, I think. Also, the Homer and Marge thing, I didn't really hear Homer that much, and Marge was pretty good. I didn't hear the Homer in it, so I gave it a 7. Um, then we've got the Target commercial. The Target commercial. My only dock point was that it should have built up a lot faster. It should have just boom gone from the get go. I know that it needed to be built up, but it's still that could have been shortened. So overall, it was a 9 because it was really funny. It was very relatable. It had all the elements of family. It had the beats were great. Of course, it was an edited bit, so that added to the element. But overall, it was hilarious. It was very relatable. It brought both sides. When I look at these things, I think about we want everyone to like Saturday Night Live. We want to somehow get people thinking on both sides, but still have it appeal so that they're able to listen, not insult them. The dog head, that was so stupid. It was brilliant, and it was absolute heaven. I give it a 10. The plot twist was hilarious. Uh, the beats were on point. That dog deserves an Oscar. She was living for it. She was just like, "Hi, hello everyone, how are you doing?" And it was just a wonderful, hilarious premise. And you know what they say? It's very difficult to work with animals and children. No, they proved completely wrong in this, and so it's definitely a 10. I almost wanted to give it an 11, but because of clauses and rules, it does not get an 11. Um, maybe because it's a dog and it's a guest star. I don't know. Republican or not, it was okay. It was funny. It was it had beats. It kept trucking along. It was pretty good. I give it an 8. It wasn't hilarious. It wasn't like, oh my lord, that's just. It didn't really build up. It was just there, and it was okay. Walking in Staten, okay. I think that some of the jokes you had to be from Staten or familiar with Staten. I think that a lot of the element is playing up Pete, the Pete element, the Pete factor, and I think that to some people just doesn't work. And so I don't know. I don't know. I gave it a 7. My friend loved it. Thought it was hilarious. She's from New York. I was like, it didn't have me rolling on the floor laughing. I understand some of the jokes, but no. Then we go to weekend update. I don't do the musical guests just because, I don't. Ain't nobody got time for that. Then I love Baby Yoda. I love Baby Yoda, but I felt that Baby Yoda was one note, and I think that every time you can't just bank on a character, you have to elevate it and keep the joke within its compass, growing and evolving. I don't think it was there. I've seen it before with Baby Yoda, so I didn't necessarily see it there before, so it wasn't that funny. Mother Earth, Emmy, and everybody's saying in the comment section for the wardrobe alone, icon, 80, beats, everything, all of it, wonderful. And people are saying this should be its own stand-up character. Yes, totally agree with its own stand-up movie. Series. It just wow, 80, just tens. I want to give her an 11. It just because of the element of, but I'm gonna keep it to 10. I've been dialing down my extra points. Overall weekend update was a 7. It wasn't that funny. They had some really good funny moments. The element of race between Colin and Che, it's getting old for me. Just the element, you just keep it to the jokes. Just keep away your whatever, Colin is whatever and Che is this, whatever, between the cast members or whatever. I don't know. I'm not flying with it. The other thing is that just Colin seems to get okay jokes, pretty good jokes. On Che seems to really go up and down. Like have some like people rolling on the floor laughing, and then sometimes like ooh. So that chemistry kind of works. It didn't. There wasn't enough punches in there. There wasn't really any memorable joke that I could be like, "Holy Lord, that was hilarious." There was a lot of audience, ooh, and that's a weird reply because it's not a laugh. So we've got that. Then we've got the baking the cake thing. Is that it? Yeah, we've been baking the cake thing. This is an old skit that has been done several times before. It's disgusting. Again, the whole premise of that people can look up these things early in the morning or whenever and whomever and whatever age range, because anybody can just say, yeah, I'm 54 when you're like a 9-year-old child. Those kind of things. I think that it just, yeah, I'm not going to go into detail about it, but it was gross. It was gross. I'm not a big fan of that and that. I think my thought was if they're going to, also the characters, they don't pop. None of these regular characters pop. The judges, the hosts, none of them. Uh, the beginning person was just super flat. I forget her name, but super flat. So it was just, it was a wreck. It was a wreck for me. If they had brought in a wizard or someone that constantly keeps a character that keeps bringing up these cakes and this is what happens because this person, and they can explain it to them, there's some sense of reality, maybe. But it was just no. It was just I passed out and this happened. No, no. So I gave it a 5. I gave it a 5. I could have gone lower, but I gave it a 5. The Bowen Simu Liu skit. I love Bowen. And I've chatted with Bowen before. So hey, what I look like. Um, with Bowen Thing, it was good. I liked it. I really liked a lot of it. It felt like it moved too fast. I don't know. It's the first time I've ever thought of this. It felt like it really moved too quickly, and some of the jokes are not digestible enough. But they are memorable, and the whole concept is memorable, so it worked. So I gave it a 9. It had me pretty. It didn't. I wasn't like on the floor laughing, but it had me going. It was a really good premise. It had me at a 9, and it also builds up from the first one, so it's a callback joke. So I really like that. Then we've got the last skit, which was the calling in and saying I'm dead. It was hilarious. It was absolute genius, and because it's based on a true story. It's based on a true story, but putting it in that context and everybody in calling and the lines they're using. Can you get the hospital here? Just all the ambulances, all of it. the hat bit, all of it, and at the end, and it's just, and I love that Ego was like the serious person. I think a lot. I love Ego too. I love them all, but there's certain standouts for me, and so I really thought. It was a 10. It was an absolute 10. So there were no guffaws. There was just, it had me on. Me and my friend were rolling on the floor laughing. It was just hilarious because it's such a true premise, and various people can kind of understand that level. You know what I mean? So overall, I actually rated Mother Earth and Yoda as its own individual skit, and that's what I'm going to be doing from now on. So overall, there was 130 possible points. Out of 130 possible points, they got 100 points. That means the grade is a 77, which is interesting because it is season 47, episode 777. Oh, secrets of Samu Liu. I don't know. Who knows? So began in the grading scale. So it's like a high C. It's like a very fructose drink. It's a high C. You know, and that's good. It's okay. It's okay. We could do better. I think the guffaws definitely were with the baking the cake. That's old and done with, and it's kind of gross. Um, and maybe having dribble, not necessarily like that. I don't know. Just different. Bring us something new. And the other one was beats were great, by the way. Beats were all on point. I don't know what happened, but everybody's beats were amazing. Even in the ones that didn't work, Samuel Liu, even though I didn't like the whole monologue, I think he really did a great job of giving me a great performance of nothing. So, I love you, buddy. I'm sorry. Loving. It's all love. It's all growth. It's all understanding. And what was the other one? Oh yeah, the kids, and just the whole element of children. Just think about the children. Let's think about someone think about the children. you know, there's been different ways that this has been done. I think most recently, and I'm going to review this, the science thing with the kids and the parent, that whole bit. That's absolute genius. And having the understanding of that's the conversation that you can have with kids, but not kids. It's just, yeah, playing with that element, having that constantly in the back of your head, so that when kids are watching it, they can be like, wait, what? And they can have the conversation with their parents. What do you think? Did you like the November 20th episode? I know I'm late, but I want to thank Mikey Day for the inspiration. And Bowen, I love you. Awesome. For the inspiration as well. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to keep it up more. I'm going to trust you. Maybe we'll get another one today. Who knows? All right. All growth, all understanding. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful return.